going to be fine. Yeah.
Live from our studios in Palm Springs, California. It's at 70 degrees out there, and we're loving it out here. And you are watching North America Hockey Authority, presented by todayscalifornia.com. I'm Craig Campbell with todayscalifornia.com, and I'm joined with my co-host, Ed Heathouse. He is the AHL off-ice official for the Coachella Valley Firebirds, joining us right here in the studio. Our whole idea is to have these short, quick segments to basically entertain and really elevate our collective hockey IQ. And it's kind of done in different things like a history segment, a rule segment, one of my favorite, a Peeve of the Week segment, and a Beak of the Week, which is also brand new. And maybe we'll finish off with the point counterpoint, not really sure, but it's quick sections and we're segments, and we're totally interested in your interaction. So during the show, let us know where you're watching from, of course. And even if it's not live and you're watching it on a replay, still add comments and let us know what it is that you're interested in. And you're also welcome to participate in the show. With that said, happy Thanksgiving to North America. And to you, Ed, how's it going?
I'd like to participate in the show too.
Fantastic. You are
this
now
is
here,
awesome.
My friend.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Thanksgiving Eve for us here in the beautiful Palm Desert. Loving what we're doing and where we are. And I say we get right into it because
let's do it.
Courtesy of Packed Advertising, we have Peter Puck upcoming, and he's going to teach us today how hockey pucks are made. And later on, he's going to teach us how skates were made back in the day.
One of my favorite segments. Here we go with Peter Puck.
Imp of the Ice.
Hockey Night in Canada presents me, Peter Puck, your irrepressible imp of the ice, and exciting NHL hockey. Remember, I get slammed about at speeds over 100 miles per hour. That could be awfully rough on a little guy like me. That's why we pucks are kind of special. Let me show you how we're manufactured. We're made from a special mixture of vulcanizing rubber. This rubber is extruded or pushed out of its mold like a huge 3-inch rubber salami. Individual pucks are cut off as 1-inch slices. These slices, my relatives, are put in a vulcanizing tray. Team insignias are spotted in place. Then the tray cover is secured and 2,000 pounds of pressure is applied while we bake for 20 minutes. Now we're a bunch of hard rubber cookies ready for finishing. Hard edges are beveled off and then moved on to tender loving care in final polishing so that we weigh between 5.5 to 6 ounces. The last touch is the stamping of the NHL insignia, and a new season has its supply of hockey pucks. And by the way, did you know that about 30 of us are refrigerated before every game? It's a cold business, folks. But enough about me.
Welcome back. Thank you, Peter Puck. There you go. Totally interesting. First time I ever heard that story. I love to learn about these things. Really very cool. Hey, before we get going, I just want to say hi to Charlie. Charlie, our engineer producer, is behind the scenes and put all this phenomenal stuff together. You'd be surprised at how much work goes into putting this live streaming studio together. And we got Charlie there on the keyboard. And once again, put your comments up there and maybe Charlie will flash one up there for us.
We love producer Charlie.
Oh, we got a hello.
Well, there you
Hello.
go. Hello from where?
They didn't say, but Helen. Emu.
Yeah, appreciate that, Helen. Thank you for joining us today. Do us a favor, also share. That's the highest compliment we could have, is to share this with your friends and family. I think we have another Peter Puck segment.
And before we get to that Peter Puck segment, if you have any enemies, share it with them too. Spread the love.
Goalkeeper. There's that hockey mentality that Ed has. We love you for it.
Mentality, hockey. Yep. Trouble.
We're elevating our IQs right here. Okay. How about that? Let's see what Peter has to say.
About me. Did you ever wonder how hockey skates are built? Well, you know they have to be very strong. First, the blades are stamped out of steel plate, but even then, this metal needs to be toughened up in a furnace where the blades are heated to 1,550 degrees. Then they are cooled in an oil bath. A second furnace gives the blades their final strength. Other parts are stamped, from thinner, pre-hardened steel. These are formed into the tube, the posts, and the heel and sole plates. The blade is fitted into the tube and spot welded. Parts are set into position, then spot welded in place to form the skate. Now it receives a copper dip. This is followed by a solder dip. It is now ready for the final hand soldering of all the joints. It then goes through a series of polishing and grinding operations. A linear polyethylene protective cap is set on the blade heel. After a thorough testing, the skate is ready to be riveted to the shoe. Then an inside sanitizing, a toe stain, and a lacquer spray puts the final touch to this quality product that soon will be chasing me about the ice, worn by a fellow hitting at me with a stick. At one time, a hockey...
And we're back. Welcome back. I want to mention that, first off, if you want Peter Puck memorabilia, it's a tough word. And then merchandise, www.peterpuck.ca. Outerwear, hoodies, all kinds of really fun things. Great Christmas gifts, folks. Thanks again to Packed Advertising for allowing us to use Peter. Craig, how are we doing on the itinerary? We good?
Yeah. You know what? I think we should go ahead and move on to rules segment. Now that Peter's given us a little bit of background on a couple of things, skates and pucks, move to the rules segment. What do we got for what's going on today?
I normally use Peter to give us the rules segment, but some issues came up in the AHL last week, and we came up with NHL and AHL Rule 10.2.
Can we stop for just a second, do a little education about the difference between NHL and AHL?
Okay, so NHL is the National Hockey League, the ultimate pro league. The guys refer to it as the show. And then the AHL is the top league. It would be AAA for baseball. They're the farm teams. They're the extended roster of the NHL. You'll find, as we have found as Firebird locals, the team, if it's healthy, your roster stays very, very stable in the AHL. But if the parent team is going through injuries, it becomes very fluid. And tonight, the Kraken play at home. Joey Decord and Drieger will both be on the ice while we are dealing with call-ups and replacements for our goaltenders here.
So just want to kind of fill in just a little bit. So AHL, they are actually the affiliate. They're actually the NHL affiliate teams. And just like Ed said, they're really an extension of the roster. One question I had, how many players are on an NHL roster?
23, I believe.
So when you think about line 1, 2, 3, and maybe 4, and you're talking about all those rotations, you have very limited amount of people that can have injuries or be out on injury. So the AHL affiliate teams actually probably even more so than a AAA, say, in baseball, and the NBA doesn't even really have something like this.
Do they?
Yeah, they have the G League.
They have a G League, but people are rarely coming up. In this case, these AHL teams are an extension, literally, of the NHL team. And when those NHL teams have injuries, they'll pull an AHL player up. And as Ed said, there's such a disruption then in your front line, second lines, because your better players are generally the ones going up or back down. So in this case, the Firebirds' actual goalie for the AHL is up in the NHL, and our goalie from last year, AHL, is also playing in the NHL this year. So sorry to kind of elaborate there, but just for you guys that don't really know who the Firebirds are, or that is our Seattle Kraken AHL affiliate team. So there you go.
Yeah, and yet you're right. The top talent on the team is the first thing drawn up. So every call up causes a disruption in the flow of things, and we saw that last night, but we'll get into that a little later.
So there's a difference, you were going to say, between NHL and an AHL rule?
No, they're the exact same rule, and it's 10.2 in both rule books.
There you go.
Goaltenders. are looking at all times for every advantage they can get. And
Is this your theory or every
No,
goaltender?
no,
Oh, okay, all right.
if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, Craig.
Oh my
And
gosh.
you've got to push the envelope. I've never been a rule follower,
I know
except
at
for
the next
except
press
for the
conference,
rule
I'm
book.
not asking the head coach if that's a thing, but I do believe you.
As an off-ice official, I follow the rule book.
I know you do.
As a player, I do everything I can to bend every rule as far as I can bend it until it breaks.
Gotcha.
So AHL, NHL Rule 10.2 states that goaltenders' sticks must have white tape on the knob, not black tape.
Can you explain what the knob is?
The knob, yeah, I
stick
will.
right there.
As a matter of fact, I brought in a prop. I brought in one of my sticks. And in beer league, we don't have NHL rules. So I use a black knob on the top of my stick. You'll notice it's got tape below it. There's some ribbing to give me some grip. And the reason for the knob on the stick is when a goaltender does a poke check, he literally throws that stick out as hard as he can. The knob is what stops it in the glove hand. But in the AHL and the NHL, this has to be white, not black.
And why is that?
Well,
White is that?
why is that? So in the NHL, AHL, with video replay and live action that the referees are judging, if this stick is on the ice and this goes into the net, it could easily be
Construed.
misconstrued
As
as
a
a puck.
Yeah, it looks like a puck.
Right,
So I get it. That's smart.
right,
So being white, it's obviously not black and doesn't look like a puck.
right.
So it makes sense.
But as a goaltender, I want to use all black everywhere I can in an attempt to hide the puck from the opposition.
Since we are, wait, don't put it away yet. Since we are
What?
talking about
Back it is.
Yeah, about the stick. This would be a good time to maybe show your wardrobe and to show a little bit of what that stick can do to a uniform I think you have on right now. Is that the uniform?
I was getting dressed today, Craig, and I realized I hadn't put my old Capitals jersey on for quite a while.
Grew up in Washington D.C.
This is actually a skate. This is a skate cut.
There you go. Oh, not a.
It's not a stick cut.
I
That's
know.
a skate cut.
I already made it.
However, you'll see marks on the shoulders. Those are all stick marks from either opposing players or defensemen who didn't like me on my own team.
Gotcha.
It happens.
Understandable, Ed.
It happens.
Did I mention Happy Thanksgiving? Just wanted to,
A little late, but
Oh,
yeah,
that's great.
it's good.
We are the North America Hockey Authority, and we are broadcasting live from our sunny studios here in Palm Springs, California. It's in the 70s out here. It's just beautiful out there, and we're really loving it. Let us know where you guys are watching from, and also if you have any questions at all. If you want to comment or add to the show, please do, and we'll try to show your comment right there in real time.
Happy Thanksgiving Eve.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
So what's our next segment, boys?
Charlie, I think we're going to go to History Matters.
History matters.
On this date in 1986, Wayne Gretzky.
What's the date?
What is the date?
I don't
November
know.
23rd? Do I have it close? It
I
is.
think
It's the
Thanksgiving's-
22nd.
Oh, there you go. And the only reason I say that is because if you're watching this later, they would want to know the date. So
Good point.
this day, on November 22nd, 2023, or no, whenever it was, and what year?
1986.
Oh, there you go.
The education. I'm the hockey guy. I'm not the production guy. So I continue to learn. So November 22nd, 1986, Wayne Gretzky scored a hat trick. Now that's not unusual. He had plenty of hat tricks. But this particular hat trick gave him 500 goals in his career. He did that in 575 games. Nobody has ever replicated that and probably won't. 500 goals in 575 games is just silly. It's almost impossible.
What's the math on that?
And yeah, right. It's like 0.92 goals a game. And just to
I was
give you an
about to
idea,
make an Ontario Reign reference there and the Firebirds on that
I think it's
statement.
186. scene.
I
Yeah,
was going to make an Ontario Reign versus Firebird statement on 9 goals on average, but
Don't
We'll talk about
don't-
the next
don't
segment.
hurt me before
next
you hurt me.
segments.
that's coming up.
Jeez, Pete.
It's also worth noting Wayne Gretzky was called the Great One.
Right.
And one of the many reasons he was called the Great One, if you took away all of his goals that he scored in the NHL, he would still be the points leader
From
career-wise,
assists and other
just from assists.
assists. I got you. Mm-hmm.
That's how great the
I mean,
Great
that's-
One was.
I mean, generally, the better team, better players are going to make everybody else better. And it's really incredible when you have that type of finesse and ability to score, but at the same time, be able to see everybody else on the ice and make such a difference in both of those areas. I think that's incredible.
What's also fun is that Wayne broke a lot of Gordie Howe's records in the NHL. Gordie Howe was present every time Wayne broke a record and congratulated him.
Oh, I thought you were going to say that he was going to
Now we have Alex
chirp him.
Now we have Alex Ovechkin about to eclipse Wayne Gretzky's total goals scored. Wayne will be at every game. He'll be the first one to congratulate Ovi. And this shows what mentorship does. This shows what proper modeling is. And it's also why hockey is one of the greatest sports on earth.
So I wanted to ask a quick question because, like on the NFL, a lot of records are being broken, but the seasons are extended. You know, I remember
They play
growing up.
16, 17 games.
games
It used to be
now.
14.
Yeah, it used to be 12. And
Wow,
10
you're
used to
really
be-
old.
Used to be. It's true. Father time.
Who knew?
Have you know Benjamin Button? You know, some of us are going backward, Ed, and some are going older. But we'll talk about that too on point counterpoint and how Ed is aging through the years. But anyway, I was just going to say I don't even know what I was talking about. NFL. Did Gretzky play in the same amount of games? In other words, is the seasons extended in the NHL as well, so that records are like that or maybe easier to break?
I love to be the authority, and I don't remember if we've changed the number of games in the last
We would've
20
had
years.
to with the 2 expansion times.
That's a good point, Charlie. Yeah, with the expansion, it's probably changed, but I'm
Wasn't
not
determined
positive.
from the record. I just was, as we're talking about elevating
But it is something
IQs,
to
it's just
know
like
because if you're
yeah.
playing 60
Is it
games
done-
as opposed to 82 games as we're playing now, there's a difference.
then the great one still may be the great one in the number, like you said. And he was the fastest to the 500 as well. So
with less games.
right.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Now, just to add to this story, on this date, November 22nd, 1999, Wayne Gretzky was elected to the Hall of Fame and entered the Hall of
Oh.
Fame today,
Wow.
24 years ago.
Unbelievable. That's incredible. I love that.
Even more incredible than that, when a player retires, there's a 3-year waiting period before they can enter the Hall of Fame. They waived it for Wayne. He made it into the Hall of Fame first year after he retired because I think they had assurances he wasn't going to pull a Brady and come back.
Did anybody, that's interesting.
We got a hello, guys.
Oh,
Hello.
hello from whom?
Oh,
This is how important those hellos are,
Yeah,
folks.
it's,
Did you just show us a hello?
We just stopped the whole show for the hello. Who is it?
right. Ilias Rafi says hello.
Well, thank you so much.
Hey,
Appreciate
Mr.
you.
Rafi,
I
Ms.
appreciate
Rafi.
I think it's Mister.
I'm just covering my
I
bases.
understand.
Well, you know what? History matters.
History does matter, and we need to remember.
And that's why I think you make such a great point with Gordie's mentorship and how the great one's going to take it with Ovi, because that's what leads us on into the next era of play, like our next segment.
Which is Beak of the Week, was where we're at. Beak of the Week. And
So we started with chirps.
and
but
snipes.
In Western Canada and the west coast of California, chirping is actually referred to as beaking. So
We
beak
changed
of the
it.
week. And the beak of the week happens to come from an LA Kings player, Drew Doughty. Drew is mic'd up. He's lining up for a face-off against a fourth line guy from Colorado. His name is Thomas Tater.
Thomas Tater.
And he looks.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Tater was a Red Wing, and he's a really good guy.
I'm sure he's amazing.
But as they're putting their sticks down, Dowdy looks at him and goes, "Dude, you've got the skinniest legs in the entire league." And
This is the
well, that's not inherently funny. In the moment, as you're about to take a crucial face-off against a guy, and he tells you you've got the skinniest legs in the league, your focus isn't on the face-off anymore. It's like, oh, what?
and then
It's perfect.
Expert level.
It's a great.
expert level.
Yeah, that's
Week of the week, huh?
Charlie just nailed it. That's expert level beaking right there.
Yeah.
It's pretty
Well,
awesome.
You know,
Non-offensive and totally takes the distraction from the game. That's
Yeah.
well, then why don't we move into a segment that may be a little more controversial today, and that's
Oh.
going to be Firebird talk. Coachella Valley Firebird is the
Woof.
Seattle Kraken AHL affiliate here in our area, Thousand Palms. They play at the Acrisure Arena, and had a little bit of a rough night last night. Ed, Charlie,
Charlie has left the room, and I don't blame him because after winning 2 games on the road in Tucson last weekend,
in not unceremonious fashion. Like it was, it was a long game that went on Saturday.
yeah, they were.
we're losing at
5-4.
home. We're losing at home.
We're-
We're
eight.
6-1 on the road.
Yeah,
and
we're
we're 2-5
Yeah.
at home, I believe.
Yesterday, the Firebirds received what I refer to as the ass handers trophy because they had it handed to them 6-0 by the Ontario Reign. I was worried about this, Craig, because
and this is a sold out game too. So
Yeah.
these fans are coming on a Tuesday. Charlie mentioned before we got going on the show, Thanksgiving before. I mean, what an outpouring to fill up that stadium for this Tuesday
happy
game
reunion week
and everything
Yeah.
else, and to get crushed 6-0.
I watched Ontario beat the Calgary Wranglers Sunday night 4-0, and I went, uh-oh, we're in for a storm. Then number 1 goalie Chris Drieger gets called up to the Kraken. So we've got Alish Stezka starting. Jack LaFontaine has been called up from Kansas City Mavericks. And I got to
Is that
tell you,
OHL? EHL?
ECHL.
ECHL. I'm working on it.
It's
It's called the Shore.
I got
We just call it the Shore. The
Gotcha.
The players call it the Coast.
Gotcha.
Anyway, the best news I got out of last night's game is that during warmups, Jack LaFontaine looked really good. I'm excited. He had like a 4-1 or 6-1. I think it's a 4-1 record with Kansas City. I'm excited to see what this kid can do. He probably will get the start against Bakersfield on Saturday
Now, it's Potsy still
on
up?
the road.
Is Potsy still up, or did he come
Potsy's
back?
still up.
moved up
He's-
last week,
Yeah,
He
and
got
then,
moved-
and then Wright is still down playing with us. And-
Wright and Winterton are
are
back.
still down. And you would think, because we talked about this earlier, how the disruption, because those two players, significant point production in early games, and then the two of them got moved up, and as a result, it makes it's tough. Even when they come back, you think, well, they could just be easily inserted, but oftentimes that also takes several games
Mhm.
to really figure out. So that's something that, of course, every coach has to worry about, and coaching staff has to figure out as an AHL coach.
I'm optimistic, very much so, because I don't think too many guys in the AHL can do this better than Dan Bilesma. So, yeah, reintegrating players coming down. Podorowski's been up for a week. He's been a healthy scratch for every game for Seattle. Seattle plays tonight. And Chris Drieger and Joey Decord will be their goaltenders of record tonight, which, as Firebird faithful down here, makes us very happy
That's
and
right.
very sad at the same time.
You want our goalies that you love to stay, but you want them to be successful and
Yeah.
continue in their careers and go that way. But
As much as I realize this is a stopping point, I don't have to like the fact that it's a stopping point.
that's true. Well, we're going to root for the Firebirds, of course. You can't really not out here. And we're so spoiled in our inaugural season, going through all the way to the Calder Cup Finals, 7th game in overtime, lost as a first-time team ever. So as fans, we're really spoiled. I think our expectations are super high. and now we're getting into maybe a little bit of reality of AHL. And it'll be interesting to see. I was going to ask you, Charlie. You were at the press conference last night, the live post-game press conference. Did Dan? I'm sure he was asked a few questions about some of the challenges that were going on. Was there anything significant that he stated that you want to share? I know I'm putting you on the spot. And talk loud.
Dan is obviously a reserved type of coach. If you've ever watched any of our post interviews, which we do every game, so please join us for those. But he did grace us with his presence, even in the heat of that loss. His
6-0.
takeaways, and his takeaways, I think, were that it is not Stezzy's fault, our goaltender. He stepped up to the occasion. He reiterated, as I said, that it's not the tender's fault. It is our team's fault for allowing 6 shots to go into the net. As I saw it, and I'm sure Dan will have his own view on this. We kind of lost our gas after the 4th goal. We had a disallowed goal in the 2nd, I believe.
Correct.
Period. And the fans and the team alike kind of fell flat after that. And so I think coach wants to take it in stride. And the players, obviously, they're like, we can't make macro changes on a 1-game thing, but this is obviously a big issue because being our I-10 rivals, you're in the Valley area. This was an important game and one that we'll face again in the near future. But Dan, pride in the team and understanding that it's not one player's fault, so don't get mad at any single
Oh no, it's a
person,
team
but
sport.
Yeah, this is an effort, and we collectively lost.
Well, I think that we might as well move to something a little bit softer, perhaps.
As we make that move, I want to point one thing
Oh,
out.
please do.
If Ontario had a checklist of what they had to do to win last night's game, anybody coming into Acrisure Arena sold out, 10,087 people in the seats. Checkpoint number 1, take the crowd out of the game. That crowd was ready to erupt all night long.
And it never
But
happened.
when you beat them 6-0,
Yep.
they never have a chance to even begin to become part of the game.
And
They took the 7th man and put him in the box all night long.
and that arena starts to empty too, and you can feel it. The air
Ooh.
gets colder. In
Yeah.
fact, when you're shooting down
people,
the
why are
ice.
you leaving early?
When you
Don't
have
leave
all the-
hockey
You have
early.
10,000 people in an arena. It's kind of feels comfortable.
You
But
missed
when
the
you have-
John Hayden fight if you left early. I'm just saying.
Yeah, one of our multiple fights last night.
Shoot, yeah. 2 minutes instigating, 5 minutes fighting, 10-minute misconduct, game misconduct.
Did he get
Well
fined?
done, John.
Did he get fined? Do the players get fined for such egregious?
I'll double check the rules. I'll have to look it up. But yeah, anytime you start a fight with less than 5 minutes left in the game,
It's a big deal.
it's a big deal because the rule book knows that the game's already out of hand and you just made it worse.
We got to get to a lighter note. Firebirds
Okay,
was a
lighter.
little difficult. Just shows you our
I'll
fan.
put my stick away. Finally.
You know what it shows
Ah.
you? It's just us as fans, because it's so painful, as you guys know, as hockey fans yourself.
Man, that hurt.
When your team loses, doesn't matter how they lose, it's painful. I don't. It's like a scar. It's left there for like the rest of your life on a way.
Last night was a root canal with no Novocaine.
Well, you know what? You get to step up with point counterpoint. We're going to all talk about this.
I hope so. I'm hoping that I
What-
chose something that hasn't been discussed before.
I don't know. What's the topic?
Standard popcorn versus kettle corn at the arena. Why can't I find a bag of regular doggone popcorn? Why? I just don't understand.
Supply chain constraints?
Regular popcorn?
You
Oh,
asked.
come on.
Okay. Well, you could have said good point.
Good. Great point. Ed.
Oh, there
What a
you go.
great point.
I like it.
I can take a hint.
So you prefer straight up butter,
I'd love regular
salt
pop.
butter,
Well,
and the movie theater's the same. It's just
But-
whenever. At home, it's the same. It's always popping.
In the
with
movie
butter.
theater, okay, popcorn, layer of butter, popcorn, layer of butter, popcorn, layer of butter,
Where's the salt?
popcorn, layer of butter, salt all the way through.
There you go.
So
He forgot the salt. Thanks, Charlie.
it's
we would have
it's-
just had butter.
I'm looking at
We
it
would have
from
had buttered
all of our-
popcorn. Thank you for
okay.
reminding him
Listen
about
to
the
me,
salt.
folks. Popcorn is nothing more than a transfer
A vehicle.
vehicle
That's
for
all.
butter.
Oh,
That's
there you go.
all it is.
There you
I
go.
just want to ingest butter.
Well,
Thank you very much.
So
Real butter, not fake butter.
There you go.
So you're just wondering who invented
No,
sugar on
I,
it?
I can't
or
find regular popcorn.
Were
at
you
the
a
arena.
Cracker Jack eater when you were younger?
Caramel corn is different.
Okay,
Popcorn
I
at a
agree.
baseball game is
But it
just
was the
natural.
beginning of them inserting sugar and beginning to train people that
Yeah,
maybe.
see, you Americans and your sugar. Just knock it the heck off.
What country were you born
Michigan.
in? Charlie said Michigan. Sorry for everybody that's watching from Michigan.
Go
Although
blue. We got Ohio
although-
State this
although
weekend.
It should be
It's
known
okay,
that
folks.
Charlie's from Chicago. That's why he's
And
from
I
Michigan.
used to live in Battle Creek, Michigan, so we can make some Michigan jokes. What country again?
Probably United States.
All right, well, that's our point counterpoint segment. We really appreciate that. North America Hockey Authority, always trying to elevate your hockey IQ, and of course,
And popcorn IQ.
And
butter.
popcorn.
Butter.
kind of bringing it in.
Butter. Butter.
Well, you know what? We might as well just let you have the final say, and we're going to wind up right here, guys, pretty soon here. This is going to be the Ed's peeve of the week. Ed's peeve of the week.
So
I feel like we need a drum roll.
uh,
We're going to add that. We're going to
We're
add
gonna-
sound effects.
we're
Sound
gonna
effects are coming next week, 12 o'clock
a new checklist.
on Wednesday. It'll be a lot of fun. So make sure you tune in and give us another chance.
Color me a curmudgeon, okay? But Christmas before Thanksgiving is just wrong. This is something that's been creeping up since the 70s, 80s, 90s. And the commercialization of Christmas, I get it. How many retailers make 30% of their sales in the last month before Christmas? 30% of their sales for the year? I get that. But retailers, we know when Christmas is, okay? Knock it off. I don't need Christmas before Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is one of the pure, unadulterated, non-commercialized holidays that we have left. Other than Party City and the 99-cent store selling decorations,
Well, and butter
and the grocery stores
and the
selling
turkey.
their products. And by the way, butter is at $3.99 a pound at Stater Brothers this week. So I stocked up. I go through 2 pounds of butter a week. That's probably not a surprise. But the commercialization of Thanksgiving has not happened. It's a family time. It's a time to truly give thanks.
65% of the food eaten is a turkey. So it makes sense
God,
to me.
that's really too bad because I'm
65%.
not a turkey.
That's what
guy.
it is.
Can we move that to prime rib or a cowboy cut?
Well, there is the other column. And it's right up there. I think it's in the 25 to 30%
Well,
column.
And I'll actually confess, my mother's side of the family's last name was Nastasi, 100% Italian. I never had turkey on Thanksgiving until I moved to California in 1983.
Well, this is a North
Don't do that.
American show. So not sure exactly in Mexico how they're treating it. And in Canada, they have a Thanksgiving.
They have their own Thanksgiving, but
not the same date.
correct.
So we are only talking about the United States currently. in
How
this segment.
secular are we?
Well, I don't know. Remember, I was asking what country you were from, but you abstained.
So back to Ed's original point.
He's not getting a-
Thanksgiving is for family.
You're not
It's for
getting any
giving
Christmas
thanks.
present, is
And
what I'm hearing.
and thankfully it has not been commercialized like Christmas, where people go out, spend money they don't have to buy things they don't need to impress people they don't even care about. Thanksgiving is about family. It's about getting together with your loved ones around a table, and let's practice some gratitude, folks. Let's
And streaming this, of course, because you can put this on your TV. Guys, don't forget, you can stream this right on your television during Thanksgiving. Ed and I could be right there, and Charlie with you guys, and you guys could replay this all day long.
If you got creamed corn, I'm in.
There you go.
Lots of butter.
Wow. You know what? Maybe we should see if there's invites and see if anyone will take us in.
Right.
It's just a thought. Hey guys, I think that we're getting pretty close to the end of the segment. Any more comments there? You were about to say something there, Charlie.
We did have a comment, but it doesn't quite make sense. We
Okay.
have Dusty who said go.
Oh, go. I like it.
I think it's time to go.
It is time to go. Maybe that's maybe
I think it's time to go.
that's a very good I think that's a great segue. So listen, you've been watching the North American Hockey Authority, and my name is Craig Campbell with todayscalifornia.com, and it's presented by todayscalifornia.com. We're also showing on todayscanada.com, Coachella Valley, and on YouTube as well. And we appreciate everybody that's joining us here on the live and also on the preview. Make sure you add your comments. Let us know where you're from. It's always important. Share if you want to. And if you have any ideas for us and how we can
drop
continue.
them in the comments.
Oh, yeah, definitely let us know. With that, I want to wish you guys a very, very happy Thanksgiving. Charlie, Ed, and all of our family and friends, and yours as well. We appreciate you guys so much. With that, talk to you guys next time, Wednesday at noon.
Happy Thanksgiving, y'all. Give those loved ones a hug and be good humans.